We begin with a deadly shooting in Savannah. It left one person dead, 3 others injured.
It happened overnight in the Fraser Homes community on West Broad Court. WSAV's Isabella Baez is live tonight with reaction from a city leader.
That's right, Tina. Savannah police say they believe the shooting was a targeted act of violence. It has left people who live in Fraser Homes and the greater Savannah community shaken. Just before midnight, Savannah police responded to a ShotSpotter alert on West Broad Court in the Fraser Homes community. Officers found 4 adults shot. 1 person died at the scene, 2 with non-life-threatening injuries, and 1 remaining in critical condition. I spoke with City of Savannah Alderman Dietrich Leggett, who says residents are heartbroken to see this type of violence so close to home.
Upset. They didn't think this type of thing was really going to happen, have multiples of shootings. This is becoming more common, and they really don't want their kids to see it. I hate to call it a housing project, but this is a housing development. They have people here who are transitioning from one stage in their life to the next stage. And people really don't want to see this type of thing happening. They don't want their kids to experience it and become numb to this type of activity.
At this time, no arrests have been made, and anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 912-234-2020. Reporting live in Savannah, I'm Isabella Baez, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Isabella, thanks so much. New developments tonight in that 4th of July shooting that injured 8 people on Hilton Head Island. The Beaufort County Sheriff's Office now arrested a 6th suspect. Investigators say 22-year-old Amarian Riley was taken into custody this morning. Authorities believe Riley, one of the 8 people wounded at the shooting in Cligney Beach, later then identified as a suspect during the investigation. He's charged with possession of a machine gun and aggravated breach of peace. Riley joins 5 other suspects already in custody: 18-year-old Jaden Hawes, 17-year-olds Marcelo Royal, Quasier Davis, and Christopher Capers, and 22-year-old Jacob Johnson. Those 5 face a range of charges, including aggravated breach of peace and attempted murder.
New at 6, a Waycross police officer accused in a viral confrontation is now facing charges. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation says the officer and his child's grandmother were both arrested today following an incident outside a doctor's office. The GBI says 30-year-old Mark Horn, a Waycross police detective, and 51-year-old Keisha Music were both charged with simple battery. Investigators say the incident happened May 28th in front of a doctor's office while Horn was off duty. Music, who is the mother of Horn's ex-girlfriend and the grandmother of their child, previously told WSAV her and her daughter were assaulted during an argument about whether she was allowed to go inside with the child to the appointment. After the incident, Horn was placed on administrative leave, and the Waycross Police Department asked the GBI to take over this investigation. Now, nearly 6 weeks later, both Horn and Music have been booked into the Ware County Jail. The GBI says the investigation is still active, and once it's complete, the case will be turned over to the Ware County Solicitor's Office for review.
Some new details tonight as Savannah police have made an arrest in a shooting that left 1 man injured earlier this week. Investigators say the suspect turned himself in just 1 day. Officers served a warrant at a home in Port Wentworth. Police say 51-year-old Weldon Roberts surrendered at the Chatham County Detention Center yesterday in connection with that July 8th shooting on West 31st Street. That's where a man was shot in the leg. Roberts is charged with aggravated assault and possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. And Savannah police also confirmed that large law enforcement presence in the Rice Creek neighborhood of Port Wentworth Wednesday night actually connected to this case. Officers served a warrant at a home near Old Mill Road and Gooseneck Road as part of this investigation. Police say this investigation does remain ongoing. Anyone with information, please call Crime Stoppers.
The family of a Savannah State baseball player detained by ICE is speaking out. They're sharing what happened the morning 22-year-old Johan Sandoval was taken into custody and why they believe he should be released. WSAV's Jillian Coles has their story.
Lynn Tiberio is Adriana Wade, Johan Sandoval's fiance's mother. She says the couple met while Sandoval was going to school in New York, and he's been a blessing to their family. Since he's transferred here to Savannah State University, he visits them every winter and summer, but this last trip was different.
I'm angry. I'm very, very angry.
On July 3rd, Lynn Tiberio says she was awakened suddenly when her future son-in-law, SSU student athlete Johan Sandoval, rushed in her home yelling that ICE agents were outside.
I asked Johan to wait outside on the back porch. Officer asked him, "Why were you outside?" He said, "I see the news. I see what happens, and I didn't want to get shot. I didn't want to get hurt."
Moments later, Tiberio says Sandoval was being put in handcuffs.
He looked me dead in my face and he goes, "Lynn, I have never been in trouble. I have never been to jail. What am I supposed to do?"
An ICE spokesperson told WSAV Sandoval entered the country on a student visa in 2022, but that was terminated in April of 2025. John Jeha, Sandoval's attorney, says the error occurred when the baseball player transferred from Bryant and Stratton College in New York to SSU. Tiberio says they don't blame either school.
Human error happens. Just can we correct the problem? That's all we're looking to do, is to correct the problem, let this kid finish his last year of school.
Since then, Tiberio says Johan has been staying in a detention center hours away from the family in upstate New York. She says when he got there, he was sleeping on the floor, and she's disappointed in the immigration system.
He has no criminal record. He came here legally. He did everything to maintain his status, and yet he is being punished like he was some gang member that came from some country and he's just running the streets doing all kinds of stuff, which is insane to me.
Tiberio says the family's main goal is to get Sandoval out on bond. The attorney tells WSAV he's filed a formal motion with immigration court to do just that. To read both schools' statement on the paperwork error, head to WSAV.com. Reporting in Savannah, Jillian Coles, WSAV News 3 on your side.
A Candler County man in custody after investigators say he made threats online involving mass shootings, school shootings, explosive devices, and terroristic threats. The sheriff's office says deputies, investigators, and the SWAT team executed a search warrant and arrest warrant at a home south of Metter. This comes after a multi-day investigation into alleged threats made on social media. Authorities say they didn't find any explosive devices or materials used to make anything, and a suspect was taken into custody without incident. There is no known ongoing threat to the public at this time. The investigation, though, does remain active.
The South Carolina National Guard says 8 Apache helicopter pilots who were temporarily suspended after a 4th of July flyover have now been cleared to return to flight duty. The South Carolina National Guard says the pilots were part of Alpha Company 1st Battalion 151st Aviation Regiment and were flying in Title 32 status during the event. The review looked at what happened during the flight, compared it to the original plan, and identified ways to improve future safety and operations. The National Guard has not confirmed what specifically sparked the review or where the original concern came from. The Guard also says this incident will not prevent Apache helicopters from taking part in future flyovers.
Long County leaders say they've made some major progress in paying down the county's debt, cutting more than $5 million from what was owed in just 6 months. County Manager Shane Richardson says when he took over the position in January, the county facing about $6.5 million in outstanding debt from previous leadership decisions, including misused funds and loans. Richardson says the debt was a daunting challenge, but the county now reduced that amount by about 85%. The county used tax revenue and avoided taking out short-term loans to help pay down that balance.
The main message is we can't change what happened in the past. All we can do is pay this debt down, get back on track, and be fiscally responsible in the future with new procurement policies, and just move forward. As far as the judicial system and the money that was lost and stuff, that'll all come out in time.
Officials say the county still owes just under $1 million, and discussions are underway about how and when that final balance is going to get paid off.